You want to book the hotel? Sure thing, babe. Here's a simple and fun husband and wife MC from yesterday for you. My wonderful family of 4 are on a trip to visit family and friends. 4 years ago, on a trip with the same itinerary as this one, I, husband, booked our hotel as I usually do. I am what you would describe as thrifty, and I don't like spending a ton on hotels when we are basically just sleeping there. The hotel I booked for this leg of the journey was probably not the most high class, and sure, it was not in the safest area of town. This was definitely a hotel where some acts of questionable legality and morality occur. In my defense, it was a very last-minute booking as we were supposed to be staying with family and there were very few options available under $150 a night. The stay there ended up being fine, but it has been a long-running joke between us for the past 4 years. We are now visiting for the first time in 4 years. I went to book the hotel, and my wife said no way. It's my hometown, and I am doing it this time. So, she pulls up ye old Priceline and starts looking at places. Specifically looking for a place with a pool for the littles. She looks at one, reads the reviews and details, and says it looks good. Especially for the lower price. She even calls to make sure the pool is open because of COVID. I look at the photos, and look back at her thinking she was making a joke. She was not. I just smiled and said, whatever you think, babe. Yep, you know what's coming. As we approach the hotel, I see a look of confusion slowly wash over her face. She says, wait, is this? And trails off. I reply with a resounding yep. It sure is. She booked us in the exact same hotel that she has been griefing me about for 4 years. I laughed and laughed and laughed. She cannot believe she did it, and also thinks it is hilarious. I am vindicated. TLDR. Wife gives me grief for 4 years for booking us at a shady hotel, then proceeds to book us all herself at the same shady hotel. Just finally told her that I posted it and people are loving it, and she wanted to thank you all for helping me revel in my rare opportunity of getting one over on her. Because that is a rare occurrence with us. Pro tip, always marry someone smarter than you. Now to the comments. The best part is looking over her shoulder and letting her do it anyways. Somehow keeping it all together for that payoff of, hey, this place looks familiar. The long non-con. The fine art of doing nothing is only truly honed in a loving marriage. Twice makes it tradition. You can no longer go anywhere else. Been to Anime Expo in Los Angeles twice. Both times, we aimed to book higher class hotels and split the price. Both times, we booked too late and ended up at the Motel 6 in Whittier. That is the yearly stay now. Waha. I laugh, but my kiddo has been going annually since 2007 and we book at the Bonaventure at least one night even though we live in LA. One year we booked the Millennium Biltmore and kids said it was like the Shining Hotel. For the one who asked about the convention, it smells like hormones and BO. I've been happy to avoid it for 2 whole years now. Glad she had a sense of humor about it. Opie replied, she's the best. Wholesome. Good read. Pro tip, find the price on Priceline and then compare to the hotel website. If it's higher on the website, you can usually call the hotel to get that price. The hotels have to pay a cut when it's booked through a third party instead directly. Also, sites like Booking.com and Trivago basically strong-arm hotels into not undercutting them online, by hiding their listing if they catch the hotel offering a lower price. This only applies to online prices though, so if you phone the hotel, they might be able to go lower than the aggregator allows them to. Unfortunately, Due to said strong arm tactics, many brands now won't even allow franchisees to price match the brand's own website. I worked with one brand that would cold call hotels and see if they'd match online deals, then penalize the franchise thousands of dollars per infraction. This could totally happen to me. I have an awful visual memory for people and places and would fail to recognize the hotel. My husband, on the other hand, would probably be able to spot it from the other side of the room if I had it open on my phone. Congrats on your vindication, dude. Bask in it. I would have taken it a step further and called the hotel in advance to ask that the concierge greet her with a welcome back, thanks for staying with us again. Not nearly as fun, but I got flack for years for booking a hotel for me and my wife for an anniversary. I made sure to get one with a jacuzzi for sexy times. Neglected to notice it wasn't a jacuzzi, it was a jacuzzi tub for one. I mean, she did use it, but no sexy times were had by us in there. Not nearly enough room. This made me cry tears from laughing so hard. I can imagine my wife doing the exact same thing. Some of the best entertainment and stories come from seedy hotel stays. Exact same thing happened to me except for the sweet revenge part. I haven't been allowed to book hotels for over a decade. Thanks a lot. Good night in near Magic Mountain in Valencia. You ruined me, you bastard. Wife and kids couldn't sleep all night due to hookers arguing with pimps, police sirens, homeless people wandering the parking lot yelling at the wind. The constant grind of freeway noise was almost a relief in between. Wife and I spent the next day getting dragged all over Magic Mountain, wanting to jump in front of a roller coaster car just to end it all. Kids had a blast. OP replied. That is amazing. We had a version of that happen. My wife and I took a trip to Europe which brought us through Paris. I booked a hotel with good access to public transit that was in our budget. That hotel turned out to be around 2 blocks from the Moulin Rouge in the red light district. Sex shops and strip joints everywhere. It was a super dodgy area and a really seedy hotel. We are still laughing about that terrible hotel. OP replied. But I thought you really liked that movie, dear. Had lots of good songs. Right. Some years ago, my wife, who's everyone's trip planner, booked us on a hotel in Panama City. It was in the place nobody wants to stay on a city. We arrived kind of late around 9 p.m., and we were starving, so us tourists decided to go to grab a bite somewhere nearby and get to know our surroundings. Not 50 meters away from the hotel, a police stopped us and inquires what were we thinking of doing. We explained that we intended to eat somewhere close and if he could point us to any decent place. He shook his head and said, listen, this is a rather dangerous zone, so I suggest you go back to the hotel as every single place that you'd like to be in is most likely closed already. So, we sheepily got back to the hotel and ate whatever we had on hand. Did they at least improve over those 4 years? OP replied. The people smoking right outside the entrance looked slightly less wasted than the ones last time. Progress. My partner and I booked a hotel in Hollywood. That should tell you everything, but I just have to add we couldn't sleep all night because of the noisy springs belonging to a very busy mattress directly above us. I am all for live and let live, but for crying out loud, they got us sleep sometime. Thinking about it now, we should have returned the favor during the day. Jerk holes. I hope you complimented her on how she did such a better job of booking a hotel than you did. Just to jab her a little more,